Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Yes, we are live tonight for the usual 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream, Sundays through Thursdays. I know today is Labor Day. I know it is, but I wanted to do like a special little live tonight. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed your Labor Day. Hopefully, you did. Hopefully everyone did. So tonight we're going to be talking about these polls. Yeah, we know these polls are out saying that Kamala Harris is ahead. And we're going to do a little history lesson today, too. And hopefully you all will enjoy that history lesson. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to have a little laugh, a little chuckle, commentary back and forth. I'll try to read your comments as much as I can. And hopefully Iron Ear will join tonight. And again, hope you all are having a fabulous Labor Day. Usually on Labor Day, I do anything but labor. I rest. But we're going to talk about these polls. Yes, we got these polls, and we're going to be looking at some videos and get your take on it. Because right now, you know, the polls, they're saying Kamala Harris is ahead. Oh, she's ahead in the polls. Or it's a dead heat. Oh, it's a dead heat in Michigan. It's tied. But we're going to see what's actually going on. Okay, and hello, we have Solving Politics and Laura. Hello. I agree with you. I do not think we should trust these polls. And I'm going to show you exactly why I think we should not trust these polls. Going to wait just a couple more minutes for others to join, if you all don't mind. But, you know, they've been wrong in the past. You remember what they said in 2016. They literally gave Donald Trump like 15% chance to win the election. And we know how that turned out. So, yes, we know how that turned out. And again, I hope you guys had a great Labor Day. It's winding down. You may have to go back to work tomorrow. But we are going to be talking about these polls. And I want to share some videos with you guys. I do want to share some videos. It's going to bring back some memories. And you're going to be like, aha. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing right now since we have some more people that have joined. So let's do this. Now, this is a recent broadcast that just came out on CNN a couple of hours ago.
And the Washington Post, Harris enjoying a wide favorability advantage over the former president. 46% see her favorably compared to 43% unfavorably. Meanwhile, Trump is underwater by 25 points, 33% to 58, excuse me. The Washington Post writes this about the Trump campaign strategy, quote, with little chance of improving Trump's standing, Trump's advisors see the only option as damaging hers. Kristen, how are they planning to damage her more?
Well, Alex, it's been really interesting to watch them try and damage her over the last several weeks. They have tried various different lines on her, attacking her, and none of them have really landed the way that they have wanted to. One of the things that you're going to see is a lot of linking her to President Joe Biden. One of the things we've reported time and time again is that they believe that their biggest chance to win in November is by essentially running the same campaign that they did against President Joe Biden, but making Harris the incumbent. So using events.
So I just want to, pause this. I do realize this is CNN. And we know we got a nickname for them, right? Communist News Network. And I realize that, but I just wanted to see what the collective lefties on the other side have to say.
Like today, they're showing Harris and Biden side by side and saying that Harris's policies are the same as Joe Biden's policies, particularly when it comes to some of the more unpopular policies on inflation, on immigration. That's what they want to do. But whether or not that's actually landing has yet to be seen. It doesn't seem as though the American public is treating Harris as the incumbent that the Trump campaign would like them to do. So as we move forward, I will tell you, Alex, speaking to a number of his advisors earlier today, they do feel like they are in a better position now than they were a few weeks ago when it felt as though Harris's bounce was not going to end. And there was a lot of concern around the boost in her poll numbers, around the enthusiasm around Harris. Right now, they feel like this is starting to settle and they have a real race, but they are saying the same thing to their supporters that you're hearing Harris say to hers, which is, we are the underdog. underdog. We really have to fight here. And I think it's clear both sides believe that this race is going to be determined by razor thin margins, and they are trying to find any votes that they can to secure. And that includes, for at least Donald Trump's team, trying to siphon away some of those labor votes, some of those rank and file union members that Donald Trump got back in 2016 that helped propel him to the White House. So you're going to see a lot of that, trying to dig away at various voting blocks as they try to get as many votes as they can ahead of November.
Yeah, Frank Luntz, the top line of that poll was that nationally, Harris has a small lead over Trump. It was 50 to 46. She did not get a post-convention bump in that poll. Are you surprised by that? And what do you say to what Harris just said, that they believe they are the underdogs?
I don't think that really matters. I think what matters are the two issues that the public says they prioritize in this election, which is affordability, not inflation, but affordability of food and fuel, housing and healthcare, and the idea that that's gotten worse over the last 3 years, not better, and immigration, which is basically an issue of personal security and safety, and whether the border is controlled or not. She, Vice President Harris, has a clear advantage in personality. If this is an election about who you trust, who you have confidence in, who you like, she wins clearly. If this is an election about policy, about where things have gone over the last 3.5 years and where they're headed, Donald Trump has the advantage. The problem with the Trump campaign is that the candidate himself is actually undermining that message with personal attacks that voters don't like. The challenge with Harris is that she walks into a union hall and doesn't address the two issues that union people prioritize the most. I've done a fair amount of polling within the union community, and there is definitely a split. Government unions and teachers unions absolutely support Harris by significant margins. But the trades, the people who work with their hands, are evenly split between the Democrats and the Republicans. Republicans have never seen that before. She walked into ground zero. Everything she said was effective, but she missed the two issues that matter most. And in the end, at least in the debate, she's going to have to address them.
It was a direct appeal to union voters and that base that Democrats very much so need to win in November. I think it was a couple of things. I think it was an explicit recognition that this is the last stretch of the campaign. So therefore, the Harris campaign really needs to step up their efforts in trying to get these voters to come home to them, come home to the vice president herself come November. I also think it was an implicit recognition that more needs to be done in those blue wall states. Obviously, earlier today, we saw her in Michigan. Governor Walz is in Wisconsin. Now they're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, really trying to shore up that blue wall for their path to 270. I was talking to one advisor over the weekend, and they said for the Harris campaign, all eyes are going to be on Pennsylvania, particularly for these next 2 weeks, as we know that she was there today. Governor Walz will be there in the next few days, and then obviously the debate in Pennsylvania next week. But ultimately, I think that what this really was just another chance to show the voters who are in President Biden's backyard and who have been in President Biden's backyard for 40 years, that the vice president is somebody that they should lend their support to, a real passing of the baton. I think that what was different from the last time that we saw them on the campaign trail was that the president actually spoke before the vice president. So that was an important thing that I think that we're going to continue to see going on as they try to make that passing of the baton very, very clear to the American voters.
See, I still am boggled. I mean, I don't trust the polls. Let's be clear. I do not trust the polls. But the fact that you have anybody supporting Kamala Harris after the border debacle, the economy, she cannot answer questions. She shows up for the first interview with her break glass in case of emergency sidekick, Tampon Tim. I mean, yeah. And I saw that on Donald Trump's social media, break in case of emergency. But that, and the fact that it was a pre-recorded, edited interview, this was a softball interview that Dana Bash did not really push back on Kamala Harris. Basically, Kamala Harris said, our policies have not changed. I said I was going to do this, and that is what I am going to do. That's basically what she said. It just boggles the mind. And you may have seen my video on Stephen A. Smith saying she's got to do better than this if she wants to win the presidency. And I think that Stephen A. Smith is probably going to end up voting for Donald Trump on the low, on the DL, but I it boggles the mind because Kamala Harris, I cannot see her talking to these leaders over these other countries like Xi Jinping, like Vladimir Putin, like Kim Jong Un. I can't imagine her sitting down having a conversation with them if she cannot even do an interview. How is she going to be? This is, I'm not really buying all of this in the media. I don't know about you, but I'm not buying any of it. And I have some other clips to share with you. And also, before we get back into it, don't forget I do have a special video that's coming out Wednesday, September 4th, which is just in a couple of days at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is with a squatter and deed fraud expert, George McCleary. And it's already set up to premiere this Wednesday, September 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are not going to want to miss this. He gives valuable information to protect ourselves against squatters.
Yeah, really emphasizing there that she is the top of the ticket now. Bill de Blasio, what we just saw, to Jasmine's point, the chants of thank you, Joe, throughout this rally, the tributes to Biden, these union-heavy remarks by both of them. What does that tell you about how you think the president is going to be deployed by the Harris campaign?
Well, Alex, I think, first of all, Jasmine makes the exact right point. This campaign is not taking for granted the blue wall. And I'm really happy to see that, actually, because we've seen overconfident campaigns in the past. We're going to need all the votes we can get in those states. The fact that they're so focused on labor in particular, this is an area where Democrats have lost a lot of support to Trump.
Okay, I just got to say something. The camera shot is like really tight. It's zoomed in like really, really tight. I don't know if maybe I missed it. Did they do a wide shot? It's like zoomed in really tight. Like how many people are actually here? 100, a couple of hundred, maybe 300 people. We'll see if they zoom out.
Let's be honest about that. And they're saying, I think Kamala Harris is saying the things to get people back in favor of the PRO Act, to strengthen the right to unionize, to make sure that union busting is met with real penalties. You know, she's obviously saying U.S. Steel needs to stay in America. These are really important messages for folks who might be tempted to support Donald Trump. So that helps get those folks back. I think Joe Biden is exactly where he needs to be, in the blue wall states, talking to labor. I wouldn't necessarily say use him anywhere, everywhere. I think this is the perfect place, and he is someone who can actually help her get some of those votes back.
Let me bring in CNN's Kayla Tausche. She is in Pittsburgh. She is at this rally. Kayla, this is a significant moment in this campaign. It comes a month and a half after President Biden dropped out of the race, very quickly endorsing his vice president, Kamala Harris. Now they're on the campaign trail together for the first time with Harris at the top of the ticket.
It's definitely a turning point in this campaign, Alex. There's no question about it.
They're playing music now, guys. You know how that messes me up when they do that. But this is the thing. That let's look at this shot again. They've kept that on a very tight zoom in of the crowd here. And it's not, they're trying to make it look like there's a lot of people there, but it looks like they're literally squeezed into a small space. I don't see the masses. I don't see the camera turned around to show how many people are actually there. In any event, I also definitely want to share with you some other things from the past. Now, they're saying that she's ahead or it's a dead heat. Now, you all probably saw my interviews with the Gold Star parents. You got to see the one that I made where her campaign is over. Kamala girl is over. You have got to see that one. If you haven't seen that already, you have got to see it because she messed up so bad. She messed up so bad, Kamala Harris did, about not showing up for that ceremony, to commemorate what happened 3 years in Afghanistan, August 26, 2021, and tried to blame Donald Trump for using it as a political ploy. And then the Gold Star parents themselves come out in support of Donald Trump and they attack Kamala. Ooh, they give her the business. I can't imagine. And then she never said anything about the actual event, never reached out to the parents, from what I understand, never said anything really helpful, but used it as an as an opportunity to attack Trump when they asked him could they take a picture, and his campaign communicated with the people at the Arlington Cemetery facility if it was okay. There was no altercation. There was nothing that the media pushed out there. None of it was true. None of it was true. I mean, it is horrible what she has been posting, and people lashed back at her. She had not one positive post. After she posted that on Donald Trump, everybody said that she was lying. I mean, every single post was bad for her. She probably needs to take it down. I mean, it was a hot mess. But I'm going to show you all something here, and you will find this quite interesting. Very interesting, I think. And this is from a few years ago. So this is what I think of polls. So there's a reason why I'm showing you.
An understatement, and dramatically so, to say the debate season has not been kind to Donald Trump. Let's go back in time. This was the state of play September 26th, the first presidential debate at Hofstra on Long Island. CNN poll of polls, a statistical dead heat. Donald Trump was moving up. Some national polls actually showed him ahead at that point, but the average was a 2-point Clinton lead, 43-41. That was September 26th, the first debate. Look at where we are today. What a dramatic change. A 9-point Clinton lead in the national polls.
All right, we have a 9-point Clinton lead in the national polls. Okay, so yes, you're probably saying, Linda B, why are you showing us this old clip? Because I want you all not to pay attention to these polls, which I believe that you're not going to do that anyway. I believe you got sense enough, because conservative-minded people, we already know we don't trust these polls, and we already know that they said Clinton was going to have it in the bag. But this is just to have a little fun, okay? It's just to take a little look.
This is unheard of in recent presidential politics. In polarized America, she has a 9-point national lead heading into the third and final debate. And what that does is it dramatically reshapes the map that matters most, the path to 270 electoral votes. Here's where we were on the day of the first debate. Now, we still had Secretary Clinton at and above the finish line. The dark blue and the light blue states, she was at 272. But at that point, back then, Donald Trump was leading or tied in Nevada, leading or tied in Florida, leading or tied in North Carolina, leading or tied in Ohio. He was in the hunt. He had momentum. He was closing this gap. If you added all that up, he was in the 260 range and making a race of this. But as we told you at the top of the hour, this is now where CNN has the electoral map heading into the third and final.
See, it says here Clinton wins 307, but in actuality, what ended up happening is Donald Trump won the presidency, I believe, with 306 electoral college votes. That's what I believe the number ended up being. So it actually ended up being in the reverse of what they said. Oh, yes. Yeah, he's winning. He's definitely winning on the economy and immigration. Pretty KK17, because those are the two major factors that matter to voters the most: the economy and illegal immigration. We're okay with the immigration, but it needs to be legal. The people need to be vetted. And I just got to show this next clip. I just love these things right here, because it's so it's fun to watch for me. Hopefully it is for you all as well. So let me show this other one. Okay, we got to watch this one. We've got to watch this, because this is interesting right here.
For 2016, you deal in probabilities. So what are the odds you're putting on the race right now?
So right now we have Hillary's about a 75 or an 80% favorite. We have different versions of the forecast you can look at. So here's how to think about it. We're kind of at halftime of the election right now, and she's taking a 7-point, maybe a 10-point lead into halftime.
So you see how they got her at 79% and Donald Trump at 20%.
There's a lot of football left to be played, but she's ahead in almost every poll, every swing state.
He said she's ahead in almost every poll and in every swing state. All right. So there you have it. We don't trust the polls, right? We don't trust them. It is insanity. We don't trust them because they are not accurate. They're polling maybe 950 to 1,000 people. That's what they do. And then they just get that little slot of people, and that's supposed to mean something. Polls do not equate to votes. I've always said that. They never equate to votes. And we're still waiting. We're believing that our candidate is going to win. And it's insanity for sure. Yes, they only poll Democrats. I guess if you only poll Democrats, that's what happens, right? You only poll Democrats. I know. Well, that was from 2016. I just wanted to show that the polls from now today with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump compared to Trump and Hillary. And Trump ended up, as we all know, winning the election. And people were so bummed. Those who just did not want Trump, that, and I was one of them because I didn't know any better. You know, I had TDS back then, but I've been delivered from my TDS. Yes, so absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So I wanted to show you guys one more little quick video, and this is just for fun, of course, and let you guys take a look at this. This is insane.
First and foremost, it's finally here.
Going into this night, where do we stand?
This is where we stood coming into the night, 268 to 204. So clearly an advantage for Secretary Clinton.
Take a look here. If Donald Trump wins tonight, no matter who they voted for, take a look at these numbers here. 21% say they'll be concerned. 37% say they'll be scared.
This is what both candidates want. They want to be living there starting January 20th of next year. Florida has been going back and forth. Just changed again. It's only 11,000 vote lead just now. It changed.
Math on your feet. I like this.
The Empire State Building in New York City. Take a look at our running tally, the electoral vote. Anderson, this night is turning out to be a real nail biter.
All along, the Trump campaign has been saying that Florida's a must win for them. And I mean,
they can't win without it.
Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida.
You know, I'm guessing that the people in Brooklyn, I can see their fingers.
That's
probably,
the Hillary Clinton headquarters.
Yeah, fingers probably bleeding because there's no more nail to bite.
I wouldn't call anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend.
Wolf, the scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago when people were happy and relaxed. I have been looking around the room at people who are stone-faced. Some of them have been crying.
This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president.
This is the people rising up saying it's time to listen to us. It's time to listen to us in Michigan and Wisconsin and work for the people.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
There you go. That was just a little history lesson. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, couples like, thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you so much for that. That's such a blessing. Appreciate you guys. And yes, we're going to be praying that everything works out the way I believe it will, that DJT Donald John Trump gets back into the White House and get this thing straightened out, because right now we are in a mess. And I don't know if you guys realize how close we are to World War III. Yes. The evil powers that be, that's what I say, is pushing on other nations to go along with the woke agenda, which is the real reason why we're in the situation that we're in as far as war goes, pushing the wokeness. And I didn't even realize that. I mean, I just learned that like yesterday, like what? That's the reason why we're in the mess we're in, because the evil powers want to push wokeness on other countries. No wonder Donald Trump said he had those wars and everything done in 24 hours. That's what he said. And I'm thinking, how are you going to do that in 24 hours? He knows more than I do. Clearly, he knows more than I do. He knows more than we do, because he even said in the Dr. Phil interview, he said he knows every move that they make, that the deep state, he says he knows every move that they make before they make it. Now that's saying something, because I can't say that. And this is an election that is very important. And, you know, we got another woman that's not good for the country, another woman in a pantsuit. Now, a woman can be president. I'm not against that. Just not her. Just not her. I mean, I'm for freedom. I'm for putting God, family, country, period. God, family, country, conservative values, traditional, biblical values, school choice, you know, the nuclear family. Putting Americans first. Don't put illegal people before your own people. That doesn't make any sense. And then when you say something, Lord help you, if you're a white man and you say something about they need to go back where they came from, they're going to call you a bigot. I'm just being honest. You know, I keep it 100 on this channel. I keep it 100. But you can get away with it if you look like me, maybe. But if you, they don't, the left, the media will come and attack big time. What do you mean by that? Why? That's racist. You're a bigot. Ugh, I'm so tired of that word. You have no idea. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I wanted to, I was kind of unclear if I wanted to do a live today because it is Labor Day and some of you still showed up. I really appreciate that. And I did make my 50,000 subscriber goal. I am over it at 50,300 and something, maybe for 50,400 by now, somewhere in there. So I'm very thankful. Thank you so much for that. And again, I want to remind you to watch the special video, the special interview that I am doing with a squatter and deed fraud expert. It will be published Wednesday, September 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He gives great information. His name is George McCleary. If you go to my channel, you'll probably see it set up as a premiere. And you can probably go ahead and look at it if you want. And go ahead and like it. Make sure you like, comment, like this video, smash like. I really need you to hit the like button. Like, comment, share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Past 50,000 subscribers. Now I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I am on my way. Thanks to God, first and foremost, and thanks to you all. But I want you all to really check the video out about the squatters. Yes, Daisy. Hi, Daisy. Couples Light. Yes. Couples Life, thank you so much for saying that. That's so kind. And I really appreciate you all showing up for me. I try to keep these a little short and sweet. I try to balance my life. You know, we got to have God first, then family, then country, and, you know, the business part. So I got to put things in proper order and perspective. I'm sure you understand. But I'll be sure to post my videos as best as I can every day except Saturday at 4, 6, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you watched my videos that I pushed out today. They are really good. Check out the one with RFK, the RFK ad one. Check out that one. Like and comment, share. Make sure you like it because that helps push it out more, and watch it to the very end. It's always important to watch the videos to the end. But thank you all so much. I want to share a little history on how not to trust those polls, just in case you guys were getting a little discouraged or maybe believed the polls. So don't believe the polls. It doesn't matter. We remember they said there's no way Donald Trump will be president. They said that in 2016. Barack Obama said, at least I'm going to be a president. And then, you know, we saw what happened, right? Wish I could have celebrated that win. But thank y'all so much for joining me here today. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors. You guys be blessed. Good night.